Alright, testing my audio. I think I am live. I think we are ready to do things and stuff. I think we're ready to continue an investigation today. My name is George. We are playing Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. We are in the middle of a case, and we gotta do just a little bit of investigation work. I have a cup of water. I know it's a red solo cup, but it is just water, I promise you. And I guess my hellos are in order. Cosmetology Corner, hello! How was my day? It was pretty nice. My mother is doing just fine. Thank you for asking. Changeling DJ, anybody home? Yes, I've made it. I'm on time. I'm like 1 minute late. Okay. Alicio, hello. Angel H, hey, hey, hey. Zach, any dates this weekend? No, not really, actually. I've got nothing lined up. I might have a boy coming out to see me in February, but we've yet to arrange the finalized details on his flight information. So we'll hang on to that one for right now. But no, you just get me by my lonesome self. It is a happy Friday. I hope you guys are doing something fun this weekend. You will have to let me know. Jacob Welsh, hello, audio is good. Before you do anything else, present the MC Bomber CD to Lisa Basil for some fluff dialogue. Alright, that I can do. Between Heaven and Hell, hi, and sorry, work has triggered OCD. Alright, well, let's start in, and let's try to recap where we... Well, speak of the devil, here she is, Lisa Basil. So we can start by doing exactly what Jacob Welsh said, presenting MC Bomber. But real quick, let's go through our evidence and remember what things and stuff we have and what's going on. We have a victim. His name is Glenn Elk. He's 28 years old. He has died. He's been poisoned, actually. The accused is Maggie Bird. She's already been found guilty of the crime, but we got that case overturned because she sought the help of our phony Furio Tigre, or the Tiger King. And he did not do a very good job because he's not a real lawyer. He's also the one who lends out money to people, like this man who's in severe debt, and possibly like this man who we think is in severe debt due to his gambling addiction, because he spent a lot of money that he probably didn't have. To curb that, he invented... There's a lot to unpack here, alright? This case has a lot into it. He invented this. MC Bomber, a computer virus potentially worth millions of dollars to get himself out of his gambling addiction. Well, not to fix his addiction, but to cover his costs that he accrued because of his addiction. But then, as fate would have it, right before he was gonna sell it, allegedly, I hypothesized that our man Glenn Elg won the lottery, which caused him to go south on the deal of selling the MC Bomber virus to cover his debt with, what's-his-face, the Tiger King. And I think the Tiger King got real pissed about that, and so he plotted to kill Glenn Elg. The details of how he executed his plan, I don't fully know, but we suspect that he had this girl, Viola Cadaverini, poison his coffee, posing as the waitress Maggie Bird. Have you followed all of that? If not, it's okay. It's a confusing game. Thank God it's Friday. Let's start with things and stuff. Let's present the MC Bomber to this woman, as Jacob Welch has said. Would you mind taking a look at this? I'm sorry. That data is super admin restricted, desktop access power protected. Super admin restricted desktop access power protects password protected. What? Words? Maya. We've had this conversation before, and I also flubbed the lines as Maya last time. So we've gotten this dialogue, Jacob Welsh. No, Maya, this is not madness. This is Sparta! She won't tell us unless we say the right code word. Oh, a code word. Sesame. And then she doesn't buy it. No, not sesame. Okay. Yeah. So we actually have already seen that fluff dialogue. I remember it, I read it pretty poorly, and I read it pretty poorly again. So let me get a drink, and let me get my bearings together as we figure out what we need to do next. We need to continue investigating witnesses. In fact, we gotta talk to our girl, Viola Cadaverini, because she had some psych locks on her. So, I don't know if we're gonna be ready to take all of those psych locks on, but it seems that we're at an impasse to do anything else, so I think that she might be the next person to talk to. So let's see if we can find her. We'll just do a little casual. Dick! That was my boy. Let's go back. God, if I can find my way back to Tender Lender. Come on, Tender Lender. I know it was through Vitamin Square, and we got to Vitamin Square through Tribulations. So if we go here, and then we go here. Ugh. Hi. Then we go here. I think she is the girl of the hour we want to see. The head bandage. Let's put her in the hot seat. Start things off right. Alright, Miss Cadaverini. You're here to face me today. 4! Oh, I forgot she had 4 of them, though. Yikes. You said that the bandage around your head was from an operation. You also said that you suffered a fatal injury to the head. Is that correct?
Yes, the operation was very difficult, apparently.
Now, by fatal injury, you mean you were hurt badly somehow. Did the injury in question have something to do with this? It could have something to do with the scooter, maybe. That's all banged up. It could also have to do with the car accident. There was something that mentioned specifically the Cadaverinis, so I think that's actually what we want. Car repair bill paid for by Tigre for $15,000 to the Cadaverini family, and she is a Cadaverini. Let's throw it. I have here a car repair bill. From this, it seems pretty obvious that this car was involved in an accident.
Let me see that. This bill is made out to the Cadaverinis.
Yes, it is. I don't think I ever introduced myself. Tell me, what do the Cadaverinis have to do with me? Something tells me she's not about to say hi and introduce herself. Alright then, not a problem. Your relationship with the Cadaverinis is very strong, and this is why. Do we have her last name? We do, okay. Her last name is Cadaverini. I know exactly who you are. Viola Cadaverini. You sustained that injury in a traffic accident, didn't you? Oh, we got her, boys!
It happened about 4 months ago. I was driving in one of our family's cars. Someone pulled out in front of me.
Oh! She hit the Tiger King!
It was a motorbike, or something like that. I don't really remember it much. Anyway, I swerved to try and avoid it, but...
Stephen! Hello, welcome to the chat.
I took a blow to the head, and a bad one at that.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, what happened to the person on the bike? I'm guessing they didn't get away with injuring the Viola Cadaverini.
I don't know what happened to them. They ran away. Or so I heard.
Wait, does she not know that it was the Tiger King? Ran away?
If they'd stayed, I'd have... you know.
Huh. That just got very interesting. Is it possible? Could the person who committed this hit and run have been... Where is he? This might put a strain on their relationship if she doesn't know about this. Ugh. Listen, you never want to get involved in people's private affairs. Nothing good ever comes out of it. Have I mentioned the story time where I once almost hooked up with 2 guys that were a couple, and then they got into a really, really terrible relationship fight and, like, were screaming at each other while I was there, like, just supposed to, like, have a hookup, and I was like, oh, God, what do I do? This is so uncomfortable. And I sought myself out. I bring it up because I have a very interesting follow-up to that story time, but it's actually really, really dark, and I really can't bring it up, even on the internet, even talking about it anonymously. So that's as much as I'm going to say. It was this man, wasn't it? He was the cause of your accident.
It wasn't Don Tigre. I refuse to believe it.
Ah, does she totally refuse to? Because one of her psych locks broke. Maybe she's holding this secret from herself.
We collided, the motorbike in my car. But Don Tigre isn't injured at all.
It was the tiger who caused Viola to crash. I can feel it. Plus, One of her locks just broke, so she must suspect it was him. I'm sorry, Miss Cadaverini, but I have proof that the tiger was involved in a traffic accident on his bike. Yeah, the thing's mangled. Look at this. It's not exactly a motorbike, but it's a moped. Mr. Tigre rides around on this scooter, doesn't he? And you'll notice that the front wheel guard is badly damaged. Miss Cadaverini, you know the truth, don't you? This repair bill was paid for by Furio Tigre. The Cadaverinis have known for ages who caused the accident, haven't they?
It's possible, perhaps. Somewhere inside me, I know that may be true.
I knew it!
But Don Tigre still saved my life. The operation was very complicated. It was very expensive.
How much are we talking?
Very, very expensive.
She seems kind of hesitant about giving me an actual figure. Maybe I should back off. Look, anyway, it was the tiger who paid for this, right?
After I recovered, Don Tigre told me. He said he paid for the operation because he cared about me. And I believe him.
Really? But do you honestly believe that to be true? You want to know what I think? If I can be so rude as to interject myself into your own thoughts and opinions? I think the reason he paid for the operation wasn't because of you, but because of someone else. Uh-oh. Oh, this guy. Bruto Cadaverini, the head of the Cadaverini family crime syndicate. Also to be feared, not so much so as the Pianta syndicate down in Rogueport. Seems to live for his granddaughter. Look, perhaps I shouldn't be saying this, but your grandfather, Bruto Cadaverini, controls a lot of dubious cash, right? And you're his beloved pride and joy. Now, sure, I don't know how much the operation cost, but if you weren't the granddaughter of Mr. Cadaverini, do you think Mr. Tigre would have paid the money?
It was $1 million.
Whoa! $1 million! Girl! So Japanifornia's healthcare system must be following suit of America. And it's not any other developed nation in the world. Oh, you must not have had very good health insurance. That's probably what happens when you are an independent contractor and you're making all of your money on the black market.
4 months ago, I was in a traffic accident. That's why I needed the operation. When I woke up, they told me it was nothing serious. A simple procedure.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, I guess if she recovered in 4 months, it couldn't have been too big.
They said the operation would cost $1 million.
$1 million bucks?
My grandfather ordered Don Tigre to pay $1 million in compensation.
Compensation, huh? That's underworld lingo for paying money to settle a score, Maya. Basically, pay or get into some serious trouble. But $1 million bucks? This has to be related to our poisoning case somehow. Yes. Oh, you know what was worth millions of dollars? MC Bomber. Maybe that's why he wanted the MC Bomber more than just the simple loan money.
I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust what Don Tigre said. He said it had nothing to do with my grandfather being Bruto Cadaverini, and I wanted to believe he helped me because he cared about me, not about my grandfather.
Oh, girl! Oh no, she's showing emotion!
But I knew it wasn't really true.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
What he did to get the money, it was evil. But he said it was all for me, so I helped him.
You helped him? In what way?
Here, take these.
What are these, medical papers?
I'm Bruto Cadaverini's granddaughter. He had to pay compensation. He was made an offer. He simply couldn't refuse. Viola's medical papers added to the court record a $1 million bill for the cranial surgery. Payment was due a year ago. Wow, I feel so bad for Viola. It's inexcusable. Huh? There are two things that I consider inexcusable. Poisoning and betrayal. Those are two very oddly specific things to be inexcusable. It's like, have you ever been... I went on a date with this guy once where he was... When we were talking about, like, our icebreakers, his idea of an icebreaker was like, so what are your deal breakers? Like, in a relationship, what things are not completely non-negotiable? And that's kind of like what I'm getting vibes of this conversation, like the inexcusable things. I'm like, well, my deal breakers, you know, lying, cheating, oh, and poisoning. You know, if you poison me, that's definitely a no-go. It just seems a little out of left field. Maybe because Phoenix had that whole thing in the past with Dahlia, he's like extra sensitive to poisoning. I feel like for most of the general population, though, that wouldn't really apply. Only a coward would hurt people using either of those tactics. Is everything alright, Nick? We should get going. Right after we finish our espresso. Yeah! I won't need to convince Viola of anything else, so I guess I can get rid of this. My filter's being a little bit weird. Pardon me for just one moment, bitte. Bitte gern. Danke schön. I want to change the settings of this. Whoa. We're gonna shake up the camera a little bit. Is this the way I want to go? No. That looks fine. Okay. Repair bill thrown into the trash. Great. Interesting. Now, who else are we gonna run into? We still probably want to find, Jean Armstrong. Oh, this might speak of the devil. This might be him. Très bien. Eh? Bonjour. I have been waiting for you to return. Mr. Armstrong. Hang on, I need a drink for this. Alright. I think I'm ready. Angel H, damn Canadians and your affordable healthcare! I'm so jealous. Changeling DJ, unless you're Rasputin. Dental and vision are not covered, but healthcare is free. It's not efficient, but it's free. Yeah, you know, every country's got to decide what you want to do. Healthcare is usually one of those really important things. I've talked in the past about a funny story I had with an STD scare. This had to be back in like my Paper Mario 1000-Year Door thing, and I got charged a bill for an insane amount of money because the healthcare system is really confusing. And while there's technically places that will say, "Oh, you can get it here and it'll be free. We don't care about even if you're uninsured," but then like if paperwork is filled out incorrectly or anything goes wrong, you get hit with a bill. I got hit for a bill for like $300 and didn't even have an STD or get treatment. That was for walking in and getting tested. And it's not, the test didn't cost that much. The test itself cost like $50. Talking to a person, like going into the clinic, that cost $250. It's ridiculous how overpriced everything is in the American system. And it's like, dude, my personal opinion is you should really cover diseases because we don't want diseases to spread in a society. I don't want the fellow citizens in my country spreading STDs because they can't afford to go to a clinic and get that shit cleaned up for themselves. And that's just sexually transmitted stuff. When you talk about other diseases that you can spread through like sneezing or face-to-face contact, yeah, I want people to be taken care of because I don't want that shit all over our country. But you know what? To each their own. Everybody's got their own opinions about the world. God damn it all. Mr. Armstrong. Ah, good timing. Oh, sorry, that's... Rant aside, let me focus. I'm here to solve a mystery. Ah, good timing. I was hoping to find you here. We'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Well, he hasn't got anything to say to you fellas. Oh my god, it's a Zinniab. Who you calling Zinniop? Ah! Maya, come out from under the table. It's okay. Curtis Price, how you doing?
Welcome to the chat. You didn't miss much. We just kind of grilled Viola Cadaverini, and we found out that she was, involved in a car accident with, the Tiger King.
Okay, hand it over.
What?
You just want to play games with me? I don't recommend that. The medical papers, now.
Ah, shit. I think he wants Viola Cadaverina's papers back. Can I look at them real quick before I lose them? Oh, that's it. I didn't know if there was, like, details I could look at. You mean this? The $1 million medical papers? Miss Cadaverini trusted you. That's why she said she'd helped you.
Forget about it. That girl's dumber than an eggplant.
Oh, his whole lovey-dovey act was a sham?
You weak-willed, spineless man. You just want to know what's sad? I'll tell you what's sad, and it ain't only a face. She thinks she's got power because she's Bruto's little girl. Now that's sad.
I can't let you have these papers. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to expose what you did to get $1 million. To get the $1 million you used to pay this off.
Are you crazy or something? I don't care if you want to give it to me or not. There's 2 of us here. You got that? 2.
And, we. Mr. Armstrong? Phoenix, he's under his thumb. He's in so much debt. Didn't you know about this? Curtis Price, yes, my mom, she had her surgery, yesterday. It went fine. Thank you for asking. Forgive me, désolé. I cannot argue with him. Whoa, Phoenix, be careful! That really hurt. Is Maya okay?
Is that all you've got? I'll be taking those papers now. Armstrong, get the lighter.
Wait!
Don't take it too hard, Phoenix, Wright?
Oh, that was so stupid. I shouldn't have left my guard down. I know, and Phoenix, it's not the first time you've done it either. Those medical papers were vital evidence. Hey, hold it, pal! Dick, he's gonna save my life again! This isn't the first time he's saved my life either. Detective Gumshoe.
Detective? You think you're gonna stop me, copper? Beat it!
Whoa! Come on, Gumshoe. Keep it together, pal. Yo, you guys gotta get out of here. Leave this guy to me. But, go, pal, and take this! If you get hurt, who's gonna look after Maggie? Alright, thanks, Dick. Wait, Nick, don't leave me behind! Oh, I hope he's gonna be okay. He can hold his own. Detective Gumshoe, he's a man. Like a man's man. I'll get even with that guy tomorrow in court. Tender Lender is going down. To be continued. Alright, boys, that's been a stream. I hope you enjoyed. No, of course. Just like last time, we got almost all the way to the end, but we still had about like 25 minutes to go through, so I'm glad we did it today. Now, we can go right into trial. This is the part we've been waiting for. We gotta see how this plays out. I'm ready for the drama to just spill upon the scene. It's January 8th at 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1.
Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think's gonna happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well, and it ended on a giant mystery.
That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw that. That little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Why don't I believe ya? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat.
Roger. Don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? Oh, I was watching through the doorway, pal. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Oh, not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, it does look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. Yeah, this is a small bottle that turned up in the Tribulations kitchen a couple days ago. Wow, look at all these little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. It's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others. I do remember this. Hey, what do you know? It doesn't have a label either. And it doesn't really smell like anything. Yeah, we finally got the analysis results back from the lab, pal. So, what is it? What's the poison? I'm afraid it's not poison, pal. It's, medication. Medication? Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears, you mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum, pal. What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? That's suspicious. But I'm glad we know about that. And what about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... It's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it! Make sure your defense is impregnable today. You got it? But Dick, I just want to be pregnant. Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Alright, boys. This is where the trial really heats up. Day 1 trial, that's always just like a little bit of a warm-up. This is where I might get confused. So we gotta try real hard, no spoilers, but make sure I'm on track and I'm gonna get the assignment done. 10 o'clock a.m., let's start court after I check my phone. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Alright, boys, let's try this again. Do I have anybody in the chat that's going to be able to keep a successful cup count for Godot? This is cup number 1. We are starting. Very good. Then we'll get underway once. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Godot. He claims to have witnessed the defendants putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. And yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Huh. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday's mystify you today. Only losers think like that. Guess it's probably not good to not get too hung up in the past. Life goes on. You gotta change with the times. It's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles. The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. No, I'm pretty sure he was just throwing seed. And today I'll prove it. Very well, let the first witness take the stand. This part is kind of tricky. Be sure to think way outside the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Did anyone watch that as like a show? That was for sure a show. I remember very little except those 2 lyrics. Out of the box. There was a box, and kids like played outside of it. And you are... Oh no! Oh, bonjour everyone! I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and the chef of Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté. Oh, I forgot that he could be a witness. We didn't have to deal with him yesterday. Enchanté. Whoa, look at this post from behind. S, 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 S. Yeah, I don't want none unless you got buns, Armstrong. Damn. My dude's putting Ladorsis on for the entire jury to see. Jesus. Wow. I don't know if I can move past this sprite. His knees are a little buckled, though. That's a little bit weird. Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? How do you guys like that early 2000s humor around transphobia? Ooh la la, monsieur! As you can see, I am la pet and perky gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Trebian's kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur? Everything feels right. That looks like a new cup. Ha. Wow. It's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Maybe he's just not homophobic, Phoenix. Changeling DJ. George, let's calm down. And Alicios is thick with that THICC. Very well, witness, please. Your testimony. Please tell the court what happened on that day at Trebian. Oui, volunteers. Alright. God, we gotta do a whole testimony with this guy. Alright, guys. You knew it was coming. Clench your butts for this. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decor that day. Like having a large mirror between la tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what la old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no? Objection? A mirror? Where's this coming from? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. No, I didn't see any mirrors at the crime scene. And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. The fuck? It's way too early in the morning for any of this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Oh, I intend to. This mirror bullshit sounds like nonsense. Alright, press everything. Just 2 customers, you say? And who were the 2 customers, exactly? My, of course. The young man who died. And the other, not so young man. You are referring to yesterday's witnesses, I presume. And what about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? You're right. I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. That's fine. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decos that day. You were experimenting with art deco? How come I never heard about that before today? You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Please, stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoction? No, Your Honor, Art Deco, it's a style of design. Your Honor, it's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Oh, I gotta sneeze a little bit. I don't know that it's gonna come out, though. Ah, yes, of course. That's deco. I was trying to achieve more effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of la decor. Like having a large mirror between la tables, for example. How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Oh, something about 4 meters wide and, 2 meters high. Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard... Holy glass in a frame, that's enormous! I was intending to install it on la ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. No. But I decided not to go through with it in the end. Should I ask him more about the mirror? Absolutely! The law in front of everything is so offensive. If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's absolutely nothing about a mirror in Mr. Cadeau or Maggie Bird's testimonies. But... Objection! I knew it. You didn't ask, Wright. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to Tribulations on the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. Ha. If you want to doubt someone, Wright, look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. So, the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. Yes? No. Objection! Oui? Perhaps that is what the old man was looking at? Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Wright, even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Wait, what? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-notch chick over there? Hey! Is he calling us not normal? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Wright? Not the hair! I do not have a top knot! Maya, you could say that top knots are cool, but you can't say you don't have one. Mr. Cadeau is correct. Lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Bien. Logic has won the day. Look up, the earpiece, the glasses, he would have seen everything in reverse. Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse? Oui? Hey, Nick. We should take a second think about what old CD said in his testimony. How did he phrase it again? Oh, he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs! No question! You can lock me up if I was wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt! And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup in his left hand! If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right side. And that clears up all the problems with this testimony, I guess. Or does it? Huh. It's kind of hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but... Do you think old CD saw everything through a reflection? If he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We just gotta dig deeper. I have an idea, but I don't know if it's correct. Everything would have been seen in reverse, but again, the old man's testimony, he did say, and we were just reminded that he saw it on the same side as his earpiece. And we have his profile here. And the HMD was definitely worn over the left eye. So, it goes to show that he didn't say the left hand initially. He said the same side as the green thing over his eye. Which, if this profile picture is correct and our documentation is correct, at the time we found the victim, this piece was on the left side of his face. Let's throw this at him. Objection! Fuck yeah! The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Cadeau's testimony for a second, shall we? Oh, I was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. There it is. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. So, to summarize, We were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Cadeau saw all of that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactement. You see, Monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. Between heaven and hell. Swear jar. Oops. If Mr. Cadeau really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? What you got to say to that? Order! Mr. Wright, is that correct? The witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror. Then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right arm. Yeah, what you gotta say? How bitter. Also, who's keeping track? This is a new coffee cup. What number are we up to now? Trite, you should have a taste of bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee, or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. Oh, he thinks. You remember this, I presume? The I broke my vase sorry apology? Mr. Cadeau's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit other than throwing seed. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Well, clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. Not as much as Maggie Bird's thighs. His music. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear. Huh. Well, Trite. I don't really follow your objection, actually. Wow. I really thought he was old seedy for a minute there. Godot's good. Oh, I thought he was bad at impressions, so I didn't even try. Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the oil of a contradiction you found is just a rash. Then why were we even entertaining the mirror idea in the first place? A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? So, let me get this straight. Your argument to the court is that if the mirror existed, then our witness's testimony is reliable. Because what he saw was a mistake, and when he said left ear, those words were correct. He was just misremembering because he was looking in a mirror. But if I show you that what he said holds up based on the eyepiece, then you're saying, no, the witness's words don't matter. He's a senile old man. Well, which is it? Are you going to take his testimony or not? Or only if it benefits you? This is cherry picking, Your Honor. Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans to la restaurant. Great. Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? Lamia, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of la victime. This doesn't make sense. That's not where he was sitting. We're totally changing the location of where the witness was. That was the seat on the table next to la victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After that terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror, so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Does no one else have a problem with this? I see no problems with the explanation we just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Cadeau could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette. I am confusing the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for a guy breaking in and out cold sweat over there. Excuse me. I hate you. So, you said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volontiers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Oh, I intend to cross-examine this. I've got a lot that doesn't sit well with me here. Alright. Hold it. So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
Oui?
We. Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way.
Look who's talking, Wright.
Huh?
You're obstructing my view, among other things.
But, this is my seat in the courtroom.
Tribulations' charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Wright.
I tell you, monsieur, la mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant. There's only one seat from which you could have seen an image of la victime. Yeah, this part bothers me. And where would that be?
Oh la la!
Look how you lean toward me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. Oh, I attract the older ones too. You know, handsome. Shall I tease you too? My man's living his best life. I wish I had the confidence of an Armstrong.
I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time.
Oh, does Godot have a partner? A man? A woman? I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Interesting, Godot has a lover. Bien, I will tell you. There was only one seat from which you could have seen. That was the seats at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. No, it was not! What are you talking about? So, why can you only see the victim for that part? Okay, Phoenix, come on, we don't need a lesson on how mirrors work. Monsieur, is it obvious? No, if you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in a mirror like this. Right. Got that. So that's the seat old Seedy was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened, the old man was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does that seem kind of odd? For so many reasons. First of all, do we have a photo that'll back this up? Not this. Wait. This? Yeah. See, there's no knocked over vase in this photo. He was very adamant that he knocked over a vase at his table. After that terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it's not too late. Okay. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Oui, exactement. I carried it out at la restaurant. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself? What can I say, you know? I know how to pick things up, handsome. I have what you call the muscles. Godot actually laughed at something, Nick. Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong? I look like the obliging type, no? But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Me and Phoenix, we're on that same fucking wavelength. I touched nothing except Lamir. Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there's a lot. I just can't put my fingers on what exactly. Huh. Suffering from a case of heartburn, Wright? Oh, I have just the thing for that. An oil with golden myrrh and Frankenstein's. Add a few drops to your coffee and voila. Enjoy. Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. Just ignore these two men and just find some evidence. It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would've, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old Seedy. Then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. Now I've just gotta prove it somehow. I have an idea. And I think it has to do with that broken vase testimony. But let me just double check everything, dot my T's and cross my I's, so to speak. It has Maggie's fingerprints, so that's not gonna be super helpful. None of this stuff seems relevant yet, except for that. So I think that's what we gotta go with. The The old man was sitting there. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to press this again. Oopsies. All right, get through all this. Yep. Next to the victims. But I would like to object with maybe this photo of the crime scene. The thing is, I have these two pieces of evidence build upon each other. I feel like he wasn't at that table because the vase isn't broken there. We have to show that the vase is upright, and we have to show that Victor testified to breaking the vase. So let me just throw something out there. I'll take the L if it's wrong. Let's go for it. Oh! Got him! This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we've heard, Your Honor. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe I didn't get him. Oh, this sounds weak. The crime photo. Yes! This photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. Oh, no, I did get it, boys! What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. Alright, you got this, Phoenix. What should not exist in this photo? I mean, not exist is a wrong word, but my issue that I have is the vase. Take that! I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase. What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Here we go, boys! Wait, it's over here, I think. Victor's testimony. Take that! Ah! I'm so proud. There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Now, why is that? I'll tell you why. It's because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. What you got to object to? Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. The seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. If there was a mirror, exactly. There's only one conclusion we could draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Traby on that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu! Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Objection! Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Oh, got him, Phoenix! Ugh. Yeah, we got you good. Thank God I pressed. Oh, jeez. All right, well, there goes another cup of coffee. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There's no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we returned back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece and an ear which he couldn't hear? Ha. You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. All of it flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. I think I might know the reason too. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. He made a mistake. No. Actually, Your Honor, this whole case is solved because the ear doctor made a mistake. Whole case, throw the entire thing out. It's the doctor's fault. Or the victim was a phony. Well, that's a little bit different than where my brain was going, but where my brain was going was I think Mr. Kudo is giving testimony about a falsified event or a different event from what transpired. I don't think he's testifying about the actual murder, despite the fact that he thinks he is. I think he saw something at a different time point. Because Maggie saw... I believe they're both telling the truth. I think Maggie is telling the truth about seeing 2 men at the table, and I think Mr. Kudo is telling the truth about seeing 1 man at the table. I think what's different here is the timing of those 2 events, and I think something happens. Maggie, you know, she's passed out or whatnot, and then the other girl, Cadaverini, sneaks in as a waitress, and they play out this scene of, like, a murder for Mr. Kudo to see. Details still a little bit unclear, but that's where I'm going with this. Between heaven and hell, I'm like, oh, I think everyone's telling the truth. And between heaven and hell, everyone is lying. The victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradictions. And yet there's one very simple answer that clears all of them up. Oh, and what is that? And Zach, aw, thank you for the kind words. The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were 2 completely different events. You said it so much better than I could have said it. I tried. What? Oh, yes. The victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was something wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. So you think Glenn Elg is alive? No, I don't think he's alive. I think he just might have been killed earlier, and then his death was reenacted later? Something like that? Order in the court! Settle down, or I'll clear the courtroom! Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? Whoa! What did you just say to me? Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Oh, I am. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about was in his testimony was... the serving girl brought him a Javachino and she put something in it! That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair! I remember her well! So hard to believe, but... There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It is also true that the chef... Or no, it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. Ah, that's right. Well, witness. If your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la! This is most difficult for me. Yeah, Phoenix, throw him under the bus. No, it's actually quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there in fact a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. Oh, he's just gonna lie. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurants that day. Oh, oui. My dude, he looks so sad. But listen, you're really causing me a lot of trouble. We're from the same community. You're supposed to help me out. La victime, Monsieur Elg. He came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won la lottery, Mon Elg became excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. There was no time for a phony to do la acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. Thank you, Judge. I will decide how to punish you later. Jail! Oui. For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he's probably got more trouble to get in after this cross-examination. Sorry, Jean, you got mixed up in the wrong crowd, and now you've got to face me. And I'm merciless. Came to the restaurant alone. Let's press that. Was he alone at his table as well? My oui, I saw him from la kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Ha. Unfortunately for you, Wright. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like this reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. It's a lot of confidence for a guy who just lost the last trial. Just throwing it out there. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem kind of wise all of a sudden. I remember that old man. He arrived alone. Or he arrived not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Coudeau, correct? Oui. He comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So, moving on. Old Mr. Coudeau arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. How many minutes after, or what time was it? This is what we want. I think this is the right answer. Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Coudeau arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. Oh, the crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no? Just after 2, huh? Perfect. I got him. Can we Your Honor, I would like this added to the testimony. Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. Ha! I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? Why not? It's what you're best at. The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. Thank you, Your Honor. Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do it for you. Oh, merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. He arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. Okay, that's good. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery. This is what I want to present on. There is a huge contradiction here. But before we point it out, I want to double down and make him talk about the lottery winnings. Did you see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him shouting, "Yes, $500,000." Presumably the defendant heard that too, then, correct? Maggie? She looked like a poor little frightened dove. And what about Mr. Coudeau? The old man choked on some bird seeds that got stuck in his throat. Seems now we have yet another incident on our hands. Okay. Good. This makes sense to me. Arrived after 2 p.m. See, that's really weird because that means he would have arrived after the announcement for the winning ticket had already happened.
Objection!
Yeah, boys! I'm on a roll tonight! I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Quit? What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, that must be the show man I was listening to. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at the restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving lunch menu. Get to the point, Wright, if you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 in the afternoon. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30. Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 o'clock. Because the show had already been finished for more than 30 minutes earlier by that point. No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but impossible stuff. I flubbed that line a little. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over, there's only one conclusion you could draw from these facts, Your Honor. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder had already occurred. Yeah, buddy. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned, by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if it wasn't the case, how could you explain this discrepancy? He's gonna try. Quite a performance, Troy. You almost were on a roll. Oh, I am on a roll. Sadly, though, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What? Music Theory 101? Give it a break. Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elg is? Well, I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, if you insist, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. What you got to say to that, buddy? Thank you, Troy. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. Excuse me? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? I think it was hidden under the table. The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Under the table! Those tablecloths, do they go down to the floor? I think they do, right? Let me double check. Oh, they definitely... Never mind. They definitely do not go down to the floor. No way. Not a chance in hell. But he had an accomplice. Mr. Armstrong could have easily hid the body in the kitchen. Because, he is clearly aiding and abetting. Prosecution has a valid point. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with this intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I think I have the evidence. We found something of Glen Elg's in the kitchen. I thought I had him with that contradiction. And a regular customer doesn't get to just walk into the kitchen by themselves. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elg concealed? Inside Tribulations. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Thunder Phoenix 256, hello, welcome to the chat. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Oh, I will, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribulations was in the kitchen with the candlestick by Mr. Plum. The body was hidden here. I see. Nice supposition, but the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? His ear medicine was found in the kitchen, Mr. Godot. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, Monsieur. The highest quality for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Oui? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. See, the thing is, this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. Nope, it contains a medication. Oh, what kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elg visited an otolaryngological clinic on the day he was given medication? On the day he was killed? And was also given medication? You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results right here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. L. Yeah, spit out that coffee. That's another wasted cup. Who's keeping track? Glenn Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant of the kitchen. In the kitchen of the restaurant. At which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu. Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird, however. You were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Glenn Elg? Never! I could not do such horrible things. No, he was an accomplice. Whoa! Whoa, 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 Godot, are you gonna be okay, my dude? Oh my god, so much coffee! Mr. Godot! The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. Well, there's another coffee cup gone. It's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My H-deficient friend. Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. Wait, what? Did we just do a language switch? Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it? No, 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 absolutely no. Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. Oui, it is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I got a bad feeling about this. We scared him so much we changed his native tongue. Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. Just let it all out, dude. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. But a man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. You were forced. By who? I cannot say, or I will be, how you say, erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elg died, was he really the only person at this table? There was... Oh, wow. Also, can we talk about how this chair is very clearly like a parody of, is it Louis Vuitton? I'm not a fashionista, but I'm pretty sure that my sister has had several bags that have that exact same pattern as that Tribulations chair, and they sound French to me. That's funny. There was another man. I knew it! Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. The confession, let's make it happen. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. Did you carry the body by yourself? Oui, I carried him, and I carried Maggie too. Maggie too? When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave her there. But why did you hide the bodies? A man forced me to do it. What man? Who was he? No, I cannot say. I fear for my life. He is really scared. You're just gonna have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Oh, I'll put everything in his mouth. You're right. If he won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man? There was a reason I could not refuse. And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong?
You know, Mansoor.
Yes?
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment.
A maiden? You're a bit old to be getting away with that. When the 39-year-old man is still calling himself a chwink in his grinder bio. You're a bit old to be getting away with that. Oh, God. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it with evidence.
But I did not kill him. I swear, you must believe me.
Whoops, I forgot to press that. Sorry, I wanted to press that statement. So, you're claiming that all you did was hide the bodies, is that correct?
Oui, that's right.
If we are to believe you, Mr. Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear the identity of the man who ordered you to do this.
He's already confessed this much, you might as well stop dancing around the real issue.
Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is.
Then suck it to him, Nick.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Alright, so do we just, like, say this is who it is? A man forced me to do... Is that the line we go with? We could also present... The thing is, there's a couple of different ways we could go about doing this. So I have a slight confusion. There was a reason I could not refuse. We could throw out the loan in his face. Or we could just throw out the guy and then build to that. I'm not totally sure which way is the right way to go. Let's start with the loan contract and then backtrack to the guy.
Objection!
Oh, am I gonna have a perfect run, boys? You have $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong?
Oui, je suis désolé. I was weak and I borrowed the money.
This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. Yes, we did have to build to it. Thank God. Okay. This boy. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything that this man told you to do.
Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
The tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant as for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happens like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pockets, was that your doing as well?
No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it? I was not. It is despicable.
Well, that's a little bit redeeming for him. Mr. Godot. We will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. He's already got him. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. To be continued again, boys. What a good run that was. Oh, but God, part 2. That might be where I really screw things up. All right. So, I know that we have been starting with the idea of 2-hour streams, but for sure, I'm probably going to cut it here, close to our usual hour and a half time, maybe 10 minutes early. So a little bit of a short stream tonight, but it's also a Friday night, all right? So we should enjoy ourselves. Get out there a little. As usual, I will be out for Saturday night, so if you want to see the end of this case, maybe the end as we go into 4-2 trial, I hope you guys will join me Sunday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time, where I will do probably another hour and a half to 2-hour stream to finish off whatever is left in this trial segment. I hope to see you guys there. As always, if you are enjoying these streams, make sure you leave a like. The support is super appreciated. If you want to see more of me, subscribe. You can turn on notifications, all the things, all the stuff. You really make this an enjoyable experience for me, and I love hanging out with you guys. So I will see you guys Sunday, and enjoy your weekend. All right? Peace!